Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and today I'm going to tell you guys an interesting story about how I saved $10,000 in 6 months while being a full-time college student with 4 different types of jobs at the same time. And you might think, Tommy, this sounds like a great story, but in the end, trust me, I had a very hard lesson to learn because basically I almost wasted all $10,000 after I actually managed to save it. So in this video, I'm going to break everything down, and by the end, you'll know exactly how to save that much money and what exactly to do with the money once you actually saved it up. Now, the first thing is this, guys. If you're new here, I post videos on the channel every single day, so make sure to also subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when I post a new video every single day. And on top of that, also destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps a ton, so thank you guys so much. Now, the first thing is this, guys, okay? Here is my income breakdown at the time when I was actually in college, because although it is a very good thing to actually save up that much money in 6 months, if you're not making that much money, it's going to be very difficult to actually get there. So at the time, like I mentioned before, guys, I was a full-time college student, and I also had 4 types of jobs. The first one was a work-study job over at my college that was paying me around $1,000 part-time every single month. The second one was basically a part-time job also at Gap, but that one was actually seasonal, and it paid me $10 an hour, while my job at my college was only paying me around $8.25 an hour back then, like around 2 to 3 years ago, guys, okay? Because back then, minimum wage was not $15 at all. However, the idea was this: from the Gap job, it actually paid me around $700 per month. So far, we're looking at around $1,700. Now, my third job was basically selling sneakers and also flipping cell phones back and forth. So I would buy them used and sell them for a higher price and make some profit. Now, this is around the time when I first started. So in reality, I was only making around $300 per month. So in reality, not really that much money, but eventually I was making around $1,000 and more, okay? But the point is, it started slow, so I'll use the low estimates as first just to give you guys a fair shot with this video. And the last income I actually had was from making YouTube videos every single day, and that paid me a whopping, at the most, around $4 a month, okay? Not that much money, I know, but guess what? Eventually, the low income with high potentials actually made me a lot more money than the fixed income with more income at the time could actually make me. For example, that work-study job and also the Gap job, eventually that was capped at minimum wage, okay? But those jobs pay me $304 per month, eventually went out to making me a lot more money, because basically the more I learned and the more I did, it actually earned me more money. But eventually, guys, adding up all my income here at the time, while making $1,000 in my work-study job, also $700 at my part-time Gap job, and also $300 from flipping phones and $4 from YouTube, in reality, we're looking at a whopping $2,004 every single month from a college student at the time being around 19 years old. Now, here's exactly the budget I actually used to actually save up all of my money. Now, I'd love to tell you guys that basically I had this great budget, but at the time, I didn't. Today, I have a full video on my real budget today that actually works perfectly to help you save, invest, and also pay back debt. But at the time, I did not have that budget, and I actually wish I actually had it. Because in reality, what I said to myself was basically, if I can make $2,000 every single month, well, I'll try to actually save as much as possible, and by the end of the year, I should have around $10,000. But by the title of this video, guys, you can tell that basically, it took me 6 months instead of 12 months. So what I did was this: I basically calculated all my expenses, and I was only spending around $200 to $300 every single month on my food and also my transportation. So every single other dollar that I actually made, I went cold turkey, and I only dedicated it just to saving and saving and saving and saving. And that's how I got to my 6-month goal of $10,000. Now you might think, Tommy, that sounds like an amazing journey, but in reality, here's what actually happened, okay? 1 to 2 months later, after actually getting to that goal, I grabbed $5K and I invested it, and that made me around $60 per week. And then I grabbed the other $5K and I put it into the market, and I started trading back and forth here and there, and I made some money, yes, but once I got that money back, I went ahead and I spent almost every single dollar's worth. But the good thing about my investment with $5,000 is basically I locked it up, so in reality, I couldn't take it out also and spend it. So I was stuck with only getting around 60 bucks per week at the time with that investment right there. But here is the lesson that I actually learned, guys, okay? The problem was basically, although I was making some good money at the time, and I was also saving a ton of money, well, going cold turkey was the worst idea possible. And on top of that, I didn't have a why. I did not have a reason to why I was actually saving up all this money. It wasn't to invest. It wasn't for retirement. It wasn't to buy something, a down payment on a house. It wasn't for any of those reasons. I just wanted to have $10,000. And as soon as I had the money, I said, well, goal meant, let's go ahead and spend it. And that happens a ton with a lot of people because basically they set these massive goals to get there, but they don't know why they set it. And once they're there, most of the money is just spent. It's kind of like, for example, going on a diet for like a whole month and losing like 10 pounds. But then the next month, you're like, okay, diet completed. My goal has been reached. And then boom, that same month, you gain back all of the weight. So here's exactly what I ended up learning from this lesson right here, guys, okay? Number one, it's very easy to save money just by putting it aside. But number two, if you don't have a powerful why to why you're saving up the money, you're probably going to spend it at the end of the day. Number three, every single dollar you actually make should have some job. Just saving the money is not enough because in reality, because of inflation, you're going to be losing money every single year just by saving money. So here's the plan I actually came up with today that could actually help you a ton more than my plan did when I was only 19 years old and I saved that much money, but in reality, I ended up wasting it almost all of it, okay? So here is my current plan, okay, guys? I created a budget, and it's called the simple budget that works whether you make a lot of money or, for example, have a minimum wage job. And basically, with this budget, I gave every single dollar I earned, I gave it a job. So every time I earned a dollar, I broke it down into 6 different accounts. Meaning that, for example, these accounts are, well, every time I got paid, I took 10% of that money and I put it into emergencies. And then every time I got paid also, I took 10% and put it towards investing, 20% for paying back my debt, 50% for paying back my expenses. For example, like my normal bills, my food, my laundry bill, everything that had to do with expenses, I put it into this account right here. And then I took 5% of my money and used it to have fun with it. And then another 5%, and I actually used it to actually give it to charity. That was the goal. And that's the budget that I currently use today. And if you want to watch a full video on this budget with all the rules and everything I do, well, I have a full video and I'm going to link it down below. But today, guys, after doing this for around like 2 years or so, I already have a full-on emergency account with around 6 months worth of money. And on top of that, I don't really have any massive debts, so I don't really put down that much money towards that either. So all I really do today is I only really pay for my investments every single month, and I do extreme investing, but I also have a why, because I want financial freedom to have more control over my life. And that's basically the reason why I do what I do. So overall, I recommend, don't just set a goal to say like, hey, I want to save $10,000 in 6 months and then go cold turkey, because in reality, you're probably going to relapse once you hit the goal. So I recommend just go slowly and create a goal for yourself. And if, for example, if you're making $2,000 every single month after taxes, say, for example, every time you get paid, take 10% and put it towards your emergency fund until it hits 6 months. That way, if anything happens to you, you have an emergency fund to actually cover you. For example, your car broke down. Or for example, you might even have a family emergency. But the point is, you might even lose your job. And by having the emergency account, you can cover all those unknowns just in case anything does happen. Number two, you also want to make sure you're investing your money for your future every time you get paid. And that's why I put in 10%. You also want to pay back your debt. So put around 20% towards that. And you also want to figure out a way to lower your expenses all the way down to at least 50%. You'll probably have it around 70 to 90% right now. Try to lower it down all the way to 50%, and that way you have a better chance of actually increasing the money you actually put into your entire investments, paying back your debt, and also saving for your emergencies. And in reality, you're not worried about, hey, I want to save 10K, because although that is a ton of money, there's no reason to why you want that much money. But what you actually get here is a change of lifestyle by having every dollar have a job and actually work for you. And that is the lesson I learned by actually trying to save $10,000 in 1 year, but ended up doing it in 6 months and then ended up actually spending most of the money. So guys, comment down below and let me know, was this video helpful? And also comment down below and let me know these 3 things right here, okay? For example, how much money are you going to be saving up and putting aside every single month to get to your goal? Why do you actually want to save up that much money? And lastly, how are you actually going to start investing? If you don't know how to do investing or a budget, again, I'm going to link down below exactly how I invest my money and also my full-on budget, and that way you know exactly what I do, okay? But comment down below, guys, and let me know, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you like this video, well, like this video. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified when I post a new video every single day. And on top of that, also follow me on Instagram, TommyBryson. And before I go, if you want to watch that video on my full budget, well, here it is right here. And if you want to watch that video, basically, on how I invest my money, well, here's that video right here. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.